All right, guys, welcome to session 3 of mobile application testing. Well, first of all, I would like to thank everyone who submitted your secret key codes and combinations for your phones. So, team leaders, be prepared. It's gonna be something for you to do. And I'm really excited to, use your help. And I appreciate your help in compiling this one document, for each device. So I will give you much clearer instructions in the homework because for some reason, I'm still not included into the chat for the leaders. As I can see from the homework entry, we only have like 2 leaders. I thought you guys were fighting for the spot. So that's kind of a little bit strange, and we need to figure out how many people are in the leaders group because in the homework is just 2 people. Anybody from here, the team leaders? There are 2 names. One of Ilya. Okay, so yes, Ilya, how many people we have? Because it's just kind of a little bit unusual situation. Okay, I will wait for your answer and then we'll figure out what to do. So many wanted and nothing right now, so I'm not getting the results I was hoping for. So guys, please join the leaders group because we will need your help. It's gonna help tremendously. 2 so far. Okay, well, do you think we can get by and try to figure out? Well, so many people last time wanted to join and all of a sudden it's like nothing in here. All right, well, we'll figure out, we'll manage it just the way it is if nobody wants to help, so that's fine. All right, guys, I can see that you are successfully, filling up the table, doing the homework, and I really, really appreciate it because this kind of this matrix is connected to the company, so they're having an access. Data is pretty much clear right now because lots of people put their entries, and I really appreciate this. So today we're going to be moving with our sessions, with our projects, and let's see what we are facing in here in mobile application. So today basically I'm going to give you the overview of the statistics and mobile ecosystem in general. So let's just start with a little bit of a data. And why do you need this? I will explain to you later. Why it is important to understand what are what are the most popular applications that are basically everybody is using, or majority of people are using, because it's going to help you tremendously in the future to troubleshoot possible problems or integration problems with such an applications. Because right now so many companies are integrating the applications, like for example with the Facebook or with the messengers, so and the location-based services. So these are applications that are most popular as of June of last year. So for the last year, we have this statistics, and it usually comes, you know, a little bit later for this year. So every time I get the new statistics, I update my slides. So these are the latest so far, and this is what we have. So basically, the most audience right now using the Facebook. Why? Because everybody is connected, right? Billions of people are connected through the Facebook. Of course, it is a big source of the mobile advertisement, the Facebook. Then the YouTube. This is the majority of the information is now posted on the YouTube. So you can find any solution, you know. It is just a beautiful thing to have. If you don't know how to do something, there is always the YouTube videos for any tool, and I highly suggest you to use this beautiful resource. So Facebook Messenger is integrated right now, and as I told you before, messengers are now a part of the social media. So please consider that. Then Google search, Google Maps, Instagram, right? We have to absolutely show the world, you know, what we are eating before we even put it in our mouths. Snapchat, Google Play Store is very popular because it is a marketplace for Android, and the number of Androids are greatly over exceeding the App Store and Apple devices, only because of that. Pretty much because it's free, you know, the Gmail is a pretty standard service for everybody. Believe it or not, Gmail is not required the internet provider. Okay, it needs the internet connection, but it does not require internet provider. So this is pretty good software, and right now, you know, everywhere I go, they're asking for Gmail account. Even with me, you know, it's much easier for me to distribute the information if you guys have these Gmail accounts. You know, the Gmail, the Google Drive, they're all connected. It is pretty stable. And of course, Pandora. You know, we love our music, we love our Pandora, and I'm pretty sure, you know, the majority of you have using one or all, you know, of this. So why it is here? Like I said, you know, many applications are using these services. And you have to check, you know, during the process of testing how your application is responding to these applications. So basically, of course, you know, we were talking in our introductory session about the websites and the mobile applications, the pure mobile applications. And, you know, the majority of people are now using the native applications because it's more interactive, because the websites, they're more informative, and the mobile applications, they're more interactive. Available offline, and it does have the access to the native resources, like location-based services or camera or other things that your wonderful phone can support. So the prevalence of the mobile applications over the websites is greatly exceeding and successfully growing. That's why we have these sessions, you know, and I'm teaching you guys how to test the mobile applications and just telling you the whole story behind your device if you have Android. Now, there are several applications that are putting a strain on a mobile networks, and again, it's a YouTube and a Facebook. Just regular, you know, browsing from when you're using the websites. Instagram, Netflix, Pandora, and of course Google. So these are the applications, and in case when you are testing your own application, try to disable this and see how your application behaves. You know, maybe one of those services are causing the lagging or any other problems. So let's see who's using the most gigabytes. Believe it or not, Finland. Okay, they're using the most gigabytes. Yeah, it's a little bit older statistics, but I found it, you know, kind of interesting information that we have these statistics around the world. So Finland is the first one, and Mexico is the last one. Anyway, let's talk about the carriers, services, and its providers. So right now, the leading providers here in the United States are US Cellular, Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Let me give you a little bit information about this company. So Verizon Wireless, they are in New Jersey, and it is a subsidiary of Verizon Communications. AT&T Mobility, they're headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, and it is a subsidiary of AT&T. T-Mobile, they are in Bellevue, Washington, and it is a subsidiary, believe it or not, of a German telecommunications company, T-Mobile International AG. Well, believe it or not, Sprint Corporation, they're in Kansas, and is majority owned by the Japanese company SoftBank Corporation. And US Cellular, it is purely our company. They're in Chicago, Illinois, and they belong to United States Cellular Corporation. So let's just see the number of the subscribers, and this is by Q1 in 2016. Verizon was leading with the number of the subscribers that they have, following by AT&T and T-Mobile. Actually, the T-Mobile right now is becoming really, really big, you know, because of their very convenient plans, and they have the services, which is not bad. And you know, I was on a very, very remote beach yesterday, and it was still working, and you know, none of other other phones with people who I was with, it didn't really work, you know, so I was kind of proud of my service. Anyway, so what are the carriers and service providers responsible for? They, of course, install cellular towers, operate the cellular network, handling bidding, support and sales, and provide services as an internet available to mobile subscribers. So what we have in here, guys, there are a couple of the things that you absolutely have to know and determine. There is a network, okay? We have the GSM, and we have CDMA. So these are two basic technologies in mobile phones. So CDMA is the code division multiple access, and GSM is a global system for mobile communication. So what is CDMA versus GSM? And for the call quality, the technology that you use is much less important than the way your carrier has built its network. So there is a good and bad CDMA and GSM networks, but there are key differences between the technologies. And it's much easier to swap phones on GSM networks because GSM carriers put customers' information on the removable SIM card. For CDMA, it is a little bit more complicated. We always belong to this phone, and there is no way to switch. Okay, so the majority of the world is using the GSM technology. But here in the United States, so many carriers go with CDMA. So it is more secure, okay? It is used by military. Qualcomm is the biggest provider of the chip designs, okay, for the CDMA. So SIM card goes to GSM, and CDMA is more secure. So it's gonna be a small video on this slide, and I want you to do it at home, watch the video, and understand a little bit more what is the difference between CDMA and GSM. Lots of people, you know, with the CDMA phones asking me, Natalia, you know, well, I do have a SIM card in my CDMA phone. And I say, listen, it is not, can you switch to another provider? No, I cannot switch. I said, well, then it's not a SIM. It's a SIM-looking card, right? So, in this SIM-looking card, they provide the GSM spectrum of Verizon, you know, technology to support our latest technology, which is 4G LTE. And we're going to be talking about that. So, it is much faster and for download, and the term 4G LTE is really two terms. So 4G means the fourth generation of data technology for cellular networks that was created after the 3G, which was the third generation. LTE stands for long-term evolution and is short for a very, very technical process for high-speed data for phones and other mobile devices. So right now, together they make 4G LTE, which is the fastest 4G service that is available on the market today. I see, you know, that some of the companies right now claiming that they have 5G technology, and this is what they started to distribute. Well, this kind of a 5G, it is just the tryout. It's not really the biggest 5G technology, and we just have to, you know, wait for probably 2020 to receive this 5G full technology that Huawei and Samsung was talking about back in 2013. So let's just talk about it, the networks, and let's talk about the Wi-Fi, because there are several terms for the network you have to know and what they mean. So basically, you know, Wi-Fi, it's short for wireless fidelity, and Wi-Fi, it utilizes one of IEEE 802.11 wireless standards. So what is IEEE? It's Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, okay? And they are the one who are setting the standards for the wireless networks. So if you're browsing through like a job, the ads for job, and you see that familiar with you know 802.11 technology, then it has to ring your bell that this is the network that the network engineers or network specialists that they are looking for. Edward says that in Japan the 5G technology have it already. Well, you know, it's a debate. You know, is it partial 5G or the full 5G? because they were promising like very very unbelievable things for 5G, and it's very interesting. It's just like mostly like virtual reality. So it's very hard to say right now because I haven't really seen a full-blown 5G in front of my eyes. Maybe you did, and maybe I missed something. It is a possibility, so you just have to give me a little bit more information, and I will do my own research happily. Okay. So this is what I was talking about, the wireless technology and 802.11. And basically, if you can see, each technology is separated by the alphabetical letter at the end. What it means, it's a different transmission frequency level, and you can see that 802.11a, it can transmit data at the frequency level of 5 gigahertz, while B transmits data at the level of 2.4 gigahertz, and so on and so on. So the higher the letter, the more advanced the network, and all this. It is just the examples of these appendixes, and you can just check if you want and Google if you want to know each and one of them. So let's just talk about the evolutions, because evolutions of the phones are very, very, big ones in the industry. So we started pretty much with the 1G, right, guys? And it was in 1981, and by 1983 the first generation was available for the public, right? So then in 1992 came the 2G technology. Nokia, Ericsson, I think we talked about that, right? Then by 2004 there was a big breakthrough in the technology. So in 2004 3G came, and then a few years later, this is where we were basically starting with the phones, the smartphones that we know right now, because it has all this GPS support, right, and all these cool things that we can do. It just like basically became mini computers in our pockets. And 4G LTE, it's been around for a while, so we can enjoy it. And like I said, 5G, thank you, Vladimir, about this link, Megaphone 5G. Okay, I will check it out. So, but I'm really expecting virtual reality. So, and by 2020. So I'm gonna give you a little bit, fun facts about the smartphones. And Nokia 1100, I told you, right? It was the best selling phones with the 250 million pieces sold. In 1983, when the first phone hit the public, it cost about $4,000. In 1212, Apple sold more than 340,000 iPhones per day, so which was equivalent of 4 per second, okay? And probably the interesting fact is going to be that the first mobile call was made by Martin Cooper in 1973. And another very interesting fact, and it's going to be the last one, that the present mobile phones have more computing power than the computers used for the Apollo 11 to land on the moon. So this is pretty cool, right? You know, what we have right now is probably, we are living in a virtual reality for people who were, you know, expecting or hoping to have something we have now like 50 years ago. And, you know, I personally really love the technology, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, and especially, you know, teaching and kind of passing my knowledge to you guys. This is a great pleasure. So let's talk a little bit more about what these generations are and what each generation and what it brought to us. So there was no term as a generation until the 2G technology came. So 1G term become a generation when the 2G came into the market. So 1G was just an analog signal that was used by cellular towers. 2G upgraded the analog signal to digital, and we were able to not only make the phone calls but also send the text messages. Between 2G and 3G, that was the biggest breakthrough. The technology made use of electromagnetic wavelengths, and we call it spectrum. So we can broadcast a wireless broadband, and in this technology we were finally able to access the internet, right? 4G, called the ultra broadband access for mobile devices, and this is the technology, also the breakthrough. So it started using the internet protocol packet switching instead of the circuit switching, all right? And 4G LTE is basically 10 times faster than 3G technology. So, and this is something that we are using and enjoying right now. So, like I said, you know, back in 2013, Huawei and Samsung, they announced the full-blown 5G, and that it's going to be available by 2020. So this is a little statistics, guys. You know, you can see that the Samsung is pretty much leading this market, following by Apple and Lenovo and Huawei. So it's not, I don't know, some people think that Android is better. Some, you know, Apple enthusiasts say Apple is better. Apple is more expensive, not as affordable, and people are using open source operating systems. So what manufacturers do, okay? And it's just kind of, this information is included in my presentations. It's because, you know, when you're testing your device, there are things that it's you cannot test really, you know, because we all have our responsibilities. You know, there's a software side, there's a hardware side, there's a firmware, right? So, and these are things that you do not have control over, okay? All you can do is just to check if your phone is working, if it's the right, you know, the right software, if it's running smoothly. So, these kind of the things you have to know, and if you see the bug or something, you know, it's not a software bug, you know, there's a hardware bug. So you have to kind of learn how to separate the testing scopes. And in school here, you know, we're clearly kind of having this very, very extensive understanding and exercises, you know, what we can test and what we cannot test. Now, guys, you know, let's talk about the devices. Somebody send the link to the webinar to Dmitry. Thank you. So let's talk about the devices. Why do you have to, know about the devices? It is because it's going to be on your shoulders, okay? There are so many devices here, and, you absolutely have to load your application for every available device. If you don't have the real device, the best thing is use the emulators and see how your how your application is being handled by these devices, because we have so many. We have handheld PCs, and they're all mobile, right? We have palm-sized PC, pocket PCs, pocket computers, palm-top PCs. We have personal device organizers, mobile phones, feature phones, smartphones, phablet. Phablet is just something, it's between the smartphone and tablet. Like, for example, Galaxy Note is the phablet, okay? Then personal management, okay? Then digital players. We have e-readers. We have handheld game consoles, and they're all mobile, okay? And lately, we have this portable and mobile data terminals. It is the little terminals that are being attached to your actually device, and you absolutely have to test them all if you want to test. Is it okay, Dinara, is it okay to use Android tablet for our project? Absolutely, you can use any mobile device. You just have to make sure that the application is compatible for your Android tablet. If you give me the name of your tablet, I will tell you if basically you can check yourself. This is the beauty of our application and applications in general that are signed into the market. Okay, so if you are accessing Google Play or App Store from your device, and you can see the application in the store, it means your device is compatible. Okay, if you are unable to find the application in the App Store or Google Play, means your device is not qualified. So it's pretty simple, right? How to do that. And if you do not have access to the application, we'll figure out, because this application is pretty cool. It's a multimedia, it's a clip mixing. So basically, what I suggest, because I don't like people to be left, aside, we can use some other application that very, very similar, and kind of adjust our test plan and test the application. Yeah, you might not need to download your test metrics, but at least try to reproduce the test scenarios that we have and using that application, because my main thing is to show you how to test, show you how to just an example of the application and what have to be done. What do you have to test? What are the major functionalities of this application? And pretty much the application name doesn't matter. Okay, so don't worry, we'll figure out what to do just in case your device is not supported. I know that some of the Asus devices are having some problems. Anybody is having Asus? Anybody is having Asus? So you might have some problem, and I might want to work with you guys for Asus devices. So basically, when you are testing your application, and there are 4 major things that you have to have in mind. So portability, it facilitates movement of the device within the mobile computing environment. Connectivity, it is ability to continuously stay connected with a minimum amount of lag, downtime, and without being affected by movements. Okay, we're looking for the social interactivity and maintaining this connectivity to collaborate with other users or at least with the same environment. And also individuality, and this is adapting the technology to suit individual needs. So this is kind of very, very important for the device and for the applications. It is kind of like portability. The devices and nodes connected with the mobile computing system should facilitate this mobility. So, and these devices may have limited device capability and limited power supply, but should have an efficient and sufficient processing capability and physical portability to operate in a movable environment. And connectivity, and this also defines the quality of service of the network connectivity. And you know, more and more, because right now what we want a really we really want to interact, okay, and not only interact, we want to have this power to customize the settings of the application, and this is what we are looking for. And when you're testing the application, guys, you always have to have it in mind how to what to do, you know. Just looking at it doesn't matter functionality or graphic user's interface. You have to think, okay, how can I make it better? Because you are representing the users. Okay, so think of it, and don't be afraid to express your opinion in a professional manner. So there are two types of the devices, and many of the times the phone users, they don't know the basic differences between the smartphone and feature phone, and I'm going to give you pretty good examples, okay, between the smartphone and a feature phone. So basically, the feature phones, yes, they are low-end device with a lower price. But the thing is, lately, you know, for the last few years, the situation in this, you know, feature phone market and the smartphone market really changed. And I explain to you why. So before, it was a clear definition, right, with the feature phones. Okay, you can only make the phone calls, right, and send text messages. That was, you know, if I would receive this answer, I would just say, well, okay, you know, I'll take your answer in a comparison between the smartphone and a feature phone. If we were talking like 5 years ago, okay, now the difference between feature phones and smartphones is really, you have to specify what are the differences. Well, of course, smartphones with the smartphones is pretty much clear. It is a portable mini computer. You know, it supports a very high definition video, right, up to 1080p. You know, it has this so good cameras, sometimes 2 cameras. You know, it has a perfect screens, touch screens, and well, of course, it costs more because of that. So feature phone nowadays, believe it or not, can support, oh, and the smartphone, yeah, of course, 4G LTE technology, no doubt it, okay? So with the feature phones is a very interesting situation. Right now, some of the feature phones can support up to 4G technology, up to 720 high definition video, okay? It can still have an access to some GPS, okay, which was unheard of in the earlier versions of the feature phones. So basically, the feature phones that we have today were as smartphones a few years back. You understand? So it is really, really advancing. That's why, you know, lots of people around the world, they are basically aiming for the feature phones, okay? Because it's, you know, it fits their needs. No big deal, you know, well, if I don't have 4G LTE, maybe in my area there is no such a service for GLTE, okay? We're here in the United States, you know, we're benefiting from every single piece of the technology that is available, but, you know, some people, they still, you know, live on 3G, right? So there are lots of places, and, you know, feature phones for them is just working fine. So basically, this is kind of the, in short, smartphones usually have a wider array of key features, and they can include full web browser, 3G, 4G, and 4G LTE. I need to little bit update this slide. Flash player, GPS, high resolution camera, third-party application support, like in video conferencing, and much, much more. So, but, you know, feature phones, if you are, you know, especially for older people, you don't need to, you know, like if we have grandmothers or grandfathers, they really don't need the smartphones unless they are, you know, some tech savvies. But, you know, for regular people, feature phone is going to just work fine. They wouldn't know the difference. And of course, you see, people are still using, you know, the number of people using the feature phones, you know, at about 33.5% right now by 2017. It fell from the 2012, you know, because of the cost of the smartphones at that time. So as the technology, you know, progressing and it's getting cheaper, right? The devices, it's like the car, you know, you buy a new car at the dealership, you know, you step out from the dealership, it's already minus 5K, right? This is how it works. Same with the smartphones. You buy the phone, you think you're just cool, you know, and everybody's coming to your house to see all these new features, functionalities. Boom, you know, you're dropping from the, you know, tip of the hill within half a year because something else is coming up. So you cannot win, really, in this situation. So, but as you can see, you know, more people are using smartphones. They prefer over the feature phones because the price is dropping. So it's becoming more and more affordable. All right, guys, now we're going to be talking about serious things, and you probably heard many times that people talk about the jailbreaking various Apple devices because of the restrictions that is imposed by Apple. So, and people also, they love their product. You know, sometimes they get annoyed with Apple that, you know, controlling their life with these Apple devices. So also some of the features that operating system provide, it's not customizable. Also with this, you know, the iOS 11 when it came to the market, you know, Apple heard some, cries from the customers. So they kind of gave a little bit more thought into the customization of the setup menu. So right now you can, at least get rid of the icons. Some people think you can uninstall the pre-installed applications, and Apple heard you and followed. No, Apple just gave you an opportunity to remove the icon from your home screen, which is, for somebody is pretty much a relief. So it is a process of modifying iOS system kernels, and the kernels is communication channel. So, and let me tell you that jailbreaking tools are usually released within the 24 hours when the official operating system hits the market. So the actual process is quite simple, as long as you know what tools to use and if you're following the instructions carefully. So, but remember that the jailbreaking an iPhone is in many cases basically simpler than unlocking it, and we're going to be talking about the unlocking. So, and most software that is created to jailbreak iPhones will not be able to unlock them as well. So it's two separate functions, okay guys, that you have to know the difference. So if you decide to install the jailbreaking tools, and one of the probably most popular companies for jailbreak is a Pangu. Also there's plenty of them, so if you decide or if you consider to look for the jailbreak, always look for the jailbreak for your model, okay, your model, guys. So, and some models, like for example, like what was it, I think it was iPhone 5, for some reason is significantly harder to jailbreak than the older versions, like for example iPhone 4 or iPhone 3GS. So the best thing is just Google it, okay, on the internet, and see what kind of a jailbreaking tools are applicable to your to your device and fits perfectly to your device. Actually, some people think that the jailbreaking is illegal. It is absolutely legal, okay? You can do anything you want to with your own phone, okay? But the problem is, once you install the jailbreaking tools, you're automatically removing any warranty that Apple has, or you have with Apple. So, if for some reason you did your jailbreaking with your phone, and your phone is not working, or it's not working as expected, do not try to go to the Apple store with the device that has a jailbreaking operating system on it, okay? Just reset it to factory defaults, install the original operating system from, Apple operating system, and if it's still not working, go to the store, let's see, what is going on. But it is legal, it's your phone, okay? You can do whatever you want to. So, anyway, unlocking, okay? So what is it, unlocking? And many people assume that the jailbreaking iPhone is exactly the same as unlocking it. This is not true. And the difference is pretty much substantial, okay? So, unlock phone can be used with any carrier, not just those that have been approved by Apple. And this basically means to you that you can use an unlocked phone with T-Mobile or any operator abroad with any issues. Okay, so you can unlock your phone if your contract has already expired, and your carrier, you have to ask your carrier to unlock your phone, your iPhone, but you have to ask for them. And what you have to do is just you have to give them a call, give them your IMEI, which is International Mobile Equipment Identifier, as we know, right? We were talking about the IMEI and MeID in my previous presentation. So, and also the special SIM unlocks such a GV, and that work with many iPhone models. And basically you can order this SIM online. You just have to make sure that you buy from the reputable provider. So be very, very careful when you are unlocking these phones. This next one is the routing, and this is an official term that is applied to Android devices, and people who love Android, routing can give you an opportunity to do so much more than your phone can do out of the box. So routing is an equivalent, okay, to jailbreaking, okay. It is the process of modifying Linux kernels, and in order to get an access and to manipulate your device and to update the OS or replace it with different OS, and we're gonna be talking about that within the next few slides. So there are tons of different Android phones out there, and while some routing methods might work for multiple phones, there is no one-size-fits-all guide for routing for every phone. So it is, you just have to put a little bit of the work, the homework, if you want to root your device, and find the suitable solutions for your phone, how to root. Just be very, very careful, when you're rooting Android, because you're getting into the kernels, and it's an open source operating system. So again, if you don't know how to do it, search, find the solutions, ask your friends, because lots of phones are running the lots of phones are rooted by now, because people are pretty much getting smart. So there are few terms that we are using here in the industry, and if you're going to be working in the mobile application testing industry, these are the terms you're going to be hearing a lot, and you have to know what it means. So let's just start. There's just like a 10 major that I included in here. So routing means you have a root access to your device. So ROM is a modified version of Android, and it may contain extra features. It could be a different look, speed enhancement, or even a version of Android that haven't been released for your phone yet. So this is pretty cool. Then we have the kernels. And kernels is one of the most important components of your operating system. And what it does, it's managing communications between your software and hardware. Also, there are lots of custom kernels out there for most phones. And you can pretty much speed up your phone, or it can increase your battery life, among the other things. Also, I want you to be very, very careful with kernels, because if you download some kernels that, you know, are coming from the unreliable sources, it may break your phone. Breaking means your phone is going to be dead. So you're also going to hear the radios. Okay, radios are part of your phone firmware. And radios, they control your cellular data, GPS, Wi-Fi, and other things like this. So you can sometimes find custom radios for your phone, and you can flash yourself, but be aware if something causing the problem. I mean, you know, guys, you have to understand, yes, you can do anything with your phone that you want to, but at the same time, you have to be aware. Also, the majority of the components and you know, the firmware and the software that is available for your phone, they're pretty much reliable. However, there are some sick people, you know, that can put the really, you know, something bad, you know, the bad components, just to break your phone, just because, you know, nothing personal. So the next one is flashing, and flashing in the our industry means that you are installing something on your device. It never applies to the applications. You download applications, right? But everything which is connected to your hardware, what you are updating your hardware, we call it flushing. Okay, we flush. It could be, for example, a ROM, a kernel, or you can use the recovery. We're going to be talking about that. So, sometime when you're rooting your device, it requires flushing a zip file. But sometimes it's not. So it just depends, you know, of what you are doing and what model, okay, you are using. So then we have the bootloader. Bootloader, if you guys are familiar with BIOS on your PCs or laptops, it is the lowest level of software on your phone. And it's running just all the code that is necessary to just start your operating systems. So, there is a difference. So if you're unlocking your bootloader, it doesn't root your device directly. But when you are unlocking your bootloader, it does allow you to root or to flash custom ROMs or custom operating systems, so if you desire. Then we have the recovery, and recovery is pretty, you know, pretty much the same like you use the recovery for your PCs. So it is basically the software on your phone that lets you make backups, and also you can flash ROMs and perform other system level tasks. Then we have a very interesting name, Nandroid. It is basically most third-party recovery modules, and you can make backups of your phone, and we call it Nandroid backups. Okay, so it is very essential system image of your phone, and everything exactly, it just, you know, kind of grabs exactly how your phone looks right now. Next is the very, very fun thing. It's a ADB, you know, it's going to be your nightmare or your happiness, you know, when we start using Android Studio. It comes from the SDK, Software Development Kit, and it stands for Android Debugging Bridge. Okay, what is it? It's basically a tool. It is a command line tool between your computer, where you have the Android Studio or just SDK, Software Development Kit, And through that bridge, we would be able to communicate and manipulate with our Android devices. And you'll see we can do so many fun things. And of course, guys, you know, brick, it means that your device is dead. Okay, it can become a hammer, and devices are becoming brick in several instances. Okay, it's when you don't know what you want to do with your device, or when you know too much, okay, about the device. It can break and you're just so confident, oh, nothing is gonna happen with my device, right? Okay, guys, that's it for today. I'm wishing everybody a good night. Your homework is gonna be posted probably tonight. I'm gonna stay and just post the slides. It's gonna be on your portal tomorrow because our IT guy is gone for the day. I'm wishing everybody good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.